small biz pro, so we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and the coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, I know for those of you who joined us last week, we had an amazing show talking about doing business in the Caribbean as a small business and as an entrepreneur. And we're continuing that trend today. We're doing part two of doing business in the Caribbean. So if you are a small business or an aspiring small business and you want to increase your revenue source, maybe you guys should listen to this show or participate. Give us you can try to join the chat and hear what we have to offer. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to bring in my co-host so she can tell you everything that's going on.
Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome this week. It's been a hot I think when I come outside like you do, I even know that it is hot, and then I go like, oh, it's hot. But every now and then I get a wave of heat that come across my office when the breeze doesn't come up here, and I'm going, whoa, it's hot. Oh my goodness. So glad to be here though. I had a productive week. I took my so-called a vacation. Well, I don't even want to call it a vacation. It was a break from coaching. Everything else was still there.
You call
And
it a so-called vacation.
yeah, so we're not going to call it that. We're going to take it. I took a few days away from coaching clients. And then that meant this week they all piled up back to back to back to back to back. I had back to back all the way until yesterday. And then I went to an event with Crenshaw Chamber. They just became they just launched a foundation raising so that they can be a 501c3 because the chamber is
Mm.
not. And now they're raising money in order to create some programs, and they kicked off a soft launch yesterday of a program that they're implementing for the 21 to 35-year-old, and they broke it down to an industry, and so I'm happy for them. They now raising money for that, and they're going to have a hard launch in the spring, early part of first quarter of 2027. So
Mm.
it was good. Saw some peoples. Hadn't seen in a minute. You know, my buddy Leo. You know, my buddy Leo's always working for the young people, the young adults. So that's what
Mm,
I
mm,
did
mm.
yesterday.
That's
It was
great.
cool.
That's great.
hmm Yeah. In your week?
Oh man, I had my mentorship class on Tuesday. We covered how to find government contracts using a variety of sources, and as you know, with Small Biz Pro, we have a platform, and the Small Biz Pro platform has a variety of different procurement opportunities from different cities, counties, states, and throughout the United States. So we went through that. We looked up some opportunities. We found some in the court system, which a lot of entrepreneurs never, well, they probably don't know it exists. So I show them how they can find contract opportunities within the court system, and they were, oh, this is great. you know. So
Imagine that, huh?
yeah, so we identified a few opportunities that which they could do. They were eligible for it, so they were going, oh my God, I'm gonna have to check this out. So
Oh, that's nice.
So that was a
Um,
good. I see we got Brian Williams on here. Hey, Brian, how you
oh,
doing, sir?
yeah, I did some major marketing out there. Hey, Brian, how are you? I did some marketing out there to get us some more focuses for this conversation that we're gonna have.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Welcome to the
and
business zone, sir.
yeah, welcome, Brian. You know, Gilbert, so at the Crenshaw Chamber yesterday meeting, I was talking to a young man. He used to be the VP over at City First Bank, and now he's over at Columbia Bank. And
Uh-huh.
we were talking about a lot of things, but I was telling him about Small Biz Pro, and he
Yes.
said, "Whoa, that would be useful." I
Oh yeah.
said, "It's a very useful product,"
Oh
and
yeah,
so,
definitely.
and then
And
I
you know me, I'm always stepping up my program, my platform. So I had my programmer add some additional features to it. So now, you know how we used to do the assessments, right?
uh
The
huh,
business readiness, contract readiness, and loan readiness assessments. Well, now we'll have it set up where if they go to do the assessment, it will ask them for a code, and then it gives them the opportunity to contact me, and I'll send them the code. They can get in there and get their assessment done confidentially. So we're doing some great things, man. We're doing some great things. We're also working on setting up uh, meeting minutes for the small businesses, because you know many of them, they don't know how to do their meeting minutes. They're corporations. So yeah, the platform is going
okay.
to do that for them as well too. So I'm like, pretty excited about the direction in which we're going.
Awesome, awesome. Well, as I was mentioning it to quite a few people last night, they are really, really intrigued with our conversations that we're having,
Yes.
and excited about it. In fact,
Hmm.
one is going to connect me with someone that's having a meeting at Columbia Bank next week or the week before, and she's going to make a connection because this person is doing business in the Caribbean right now. And
Good, good,
so
good.
that will really give us some insight and some hopefully some networking opportunities and find out what country that they're working in. And then we'll, of course, we're going to have them on the show. And then there's some other people that I'm getting on tap to be on this to join the conversation with us as we move forward. So everybody's
Excellent.
kind of excited about this conversation. And
Excellent.
as I mentioned to you, there was a lot of conversation on LinkedIn about
Yes,
our topic and
that's great.
last week.
The one thing I want to make a statement on before we continue is that banking relationship that you talked about, Columbia Bank. I think that will be excellent for many of the entrepreneurs who are thinking of doing business in the Caribbean, because we're going to want to establish lines of credits for them. So, with Columbia Bank being a resource, that would be great. We already have the platform to help these businesses become ready, to prepare them in terms of loan readiness. So, once we get them to the loan readiness stage, they can easily access the lines of credit through Columbia. So, kudos for that, co-host. Thank you for connecting that.
Yeah, I had to make a strategic choice. As I had two events that I had to go to, but I thought that one was more in line with what I needed, and I needed to get to people that I know and
Yeah.
know me. And so
Right.
I think so. We'll be continuing to go out there, and hopefully, we will enhance Small Biz Pro to kind of
Yes.
help with that networking piece. But
Right.
as we are doing getting into the weeds of this, then we'll be doing our part,
Yeah.
and then we need you guys to do your part if you guys see this vision and
Right.
why this vision is so important. So with that, Gilbert, do we want to jump on in here because we
Oh
have quite a
yes. Oh
bit to
yeah.
cover?
Definitely.
Before we do, though, we need you guys to go over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and become a member, become part of our family, not a member, become a part of the Business Zone family, and learn all of the great things that are out there that can benefit us as business owners. And it's time for us to really explore our horizons and come outside of our borders and see if we can make some money there, because America is right now in a very turbulent kind of place. And so just like anywhere else, you want to evacuate when there's a tornado circulating. You want to evacuate and move to higher ground. So we're going to move east to higher ground
I
into
hear
the
that.
Atlantic and on further on. I think I was telling somebody last night, Gilbert. So again, guys, hit that subscribe button and become part of our network. And we have over 10 years of archived of videos over there. You can find them under the playlist based upon the month of the month and the year. And so go on over there, check it out. Anything you want to know about business, Gilbert and I have talked about it at some point in time. In fact, in some cases, we've duplicated the conversation. So
Yes,
you can actually go over there and check that out. We have covered every aspect from A to Z on
that's
what it
right.
takes to be a successful business owner. Okay, now
And
that's
we
our part
do
number.
we do have the video reels. So if you wish to go back and look at the videos, do a little research on some of the things we discussed, feel free to do so, guys, because that's why we have this program. We record it every week so that small businesses, entrepreneurs can access it and help to build and grow their business. And that's
Yes,
really what we're trying to do here.
yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do. All righty, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited about this conversation that we're having, and I hope you are as well. So, we want to welcome you back to the Business Zone. Again, we're like chopping this up. We're getting down into the weeds this week. So, last week, we introduced you to a different way and looking at the Caribbean is not just about the beautiful beaches, although that is definitely an attraction, and and the cool environment that's out there. And if you're in the reggae feel vibe, and you got the calypso, and you have all of that, but there's also opportunity there, and so we're challenging the traditional image that we all have of the Caribbean as just simple beaches and cruises and tourism, and instead, we're going to present you with a much bigger vision. And the Caribbean is actually, if we look at it, an amazing strategic bridge to connect Black America, Africa, Latin America, and all of the global markets that are out there. And so we want to share some of our ideas on how we go about doing that. And that's what this series is about. So the goal isn't just to do business in the Caribbean. Our goal is how do we build businesses with the Caribbean? We're not going in and taking over anything. We want to work together with them in order to create an alliance. In most cases, uh, international trade or global markets is between the governments, right? It never really trickles down to the individual people. So that's what our approach is. How do we trickle it down to the individual people, the individual entrepreneurs, and the individual business owners? And I'm going to turn it over to you, Gilbert, but I want to say this. If we can buy from other nations and countries like China, because if you guys have bought anything from Timu, that's in China. And in some cases, things that you bought off of Amazon is in China.
Yeah,
And so, why isn't there a flip side to that, right? And I
that's
know
right.
on Etsy, Gilbert, I have bought from Israel. I have bought
Oh,
from
really?
Egypt. Yeah, I have. I bought
Wow.
jewelry from India. I brought bracelets. In fact, this
Yeah.
bracelet came from India. So, if that's the case, how come I can't do the same thing? What's
Right,
stopping me?
right.
All I did was use a portal, like I think they use Shop in order to make the transfer of money. Why
Right.
can't I do that? Right? So same thing. So that's what we're talking about today. All righty. So that's what we want you guys to open up your mind's eye. Know that the Caribbean is not some third world country that only has a beach. Know that in a hotel, it has a whole industry of opportunities that are sitting there. Okay.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
image.
And as most of you know, we last week We've explored why the Caribbean is positioned to become one of the world's emerging business hubs. And today, we're getting pretty practical here on the Business Zone, guys. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to know how you can actually begin, then you want to find out, first of all, you want to find out which country best fits your business profile. So you want to be able to find out where opportunities are. And in our Small Biz Pro, I keep talking about that. There are contracting opportunities posted in the Caribbean, believe it or not. It's there for you to go and look if it matches your business profile, your industry, and what is it you're trying to do in order to grow your business. So that is position right there, guys. So check it out. Check out the profile that exists, and let's see if we can find some opportunities for you. Now, the question is, how do you find partners? And how do you avoid costly mistakes? Now, today, we're building that roadmap. So, in our first segment today, we're looking at why every Caribbean nation matters. And as an entrepreneur, you want to look at it from that global perspective in a macro way. Instead of saying, well, this country may not have what I need, or that country may not. Check it out first. Explore the countries, explore the opportunities that exist therein, and see if it matches what you're trying to do. And if it doesn't exactly match, then, as you know, what we speak about on this program is for you to team up with other small businesses, other entrepreneurs, and try to do business that way in a collective manner, because together we're stronger. And if there is two or three or four of you going after an opportunity, now these four companies provide a wider base of opportunity or resources that you can do business in those nations. And like my co-host said, in the past, when trade exists, it is between governments. You got a government of one country doing government business with a government of another country. But here, what we're promoting is companies doing business with companies, and that's a less macro level, but it's going to be a little bit more efficient for you in order to do that. Now, one mistake that many Americans make in thinking of the Caribbean is that one market it's not good enough for us. So what we're doing is providing you an opportunity to look at dozens of independent countries. It's like going to a buffet. Instead of having one meal, you're having an opportunity to have a variety of different meals. And now co-hosts, when they do the buffets, they're not just doing just the American food, American menu. They're doing Asian menu. Some of them are doing some down south menus on the buffets. So just picture it that way, guys. If you're trying to do business in the Caribbean, there's something for every business and every demographic. So that's how I want to look at it. So there are different industries that exist with different strengths, different trade relationship, and understanding those differences really help entrepreneurs to choose the right market instead of just taking a one size fits all approach. Doesn't really work. What do you think about that, co-host?
Exactly. So just like here, you do business in different cities and counties, it's
Yeah,
not a one fit all, right? We have
exactly.
different clients all the time,
Right.
and our conversation is not the same. We're not coaching on a template and just we following that for every person that we coach. We're actually
Exactly.
um customizing it for their industries, right? Because people may be
Hmm.
in the food and beverage industry, they may be in a creative industry, they may be in a financial industry, they may be in education, they may be in medicine, the medical industry, or wellness or industry. So each one, when I sit down and talk to a client, I have to find out where they are so
Right.
that I then can then formulate how I'm going to coach them. So it's the same thing. Their
Right.
industries are all different. Everybody has different strengths, and you just finding the right one that fits you, and then being able to put the steps in place so that you can go forward from there. So that's really what we're talking about. So we can't look at this. You know, the one thing that I always say about a lot of our small businesses, and those of you that are listening as well, especially those of you that are run programs, we as business owners sometimes think so linear, right? It's just what is in front of me is what I'm addressing.
Yep.
Not,
Yep.
but the whole definition of an entrepreneur is left, right, up, down, round, the
Globally.
sides, up, under,
Global.
however you can get to the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the definition that's the urban definition of an entrepreneur.
And that's why my co-host has packaged this like it's a travel guide for entrepreneurs. Okay. If you're looking to do business in the Caribbean, and the one thing I want to say before you look at this approach as a travel guide for entrepreneurs, you want to make sure that your back office is set up properly. You want to make sure all your infrastructure is set up, because once you establish an opportunity and you start going after it, then the wheels are in motion. You cannot stop it if you don't have certain documents in place. You know, the business license, the tax returns, the financials, you know, having your business profile, because they're going to ask you for a business profile. If another company is seeking to do business with you, they want to learn about you. So they want to know what your profile, how long you've been in business, what type of customers you do business with, what type of solutions you've solved over the years. These are key things that you want to have rattling right off your tongue, just like that. You don't want to, being asked a question and you're struggling to come up with the answer. So, and that's why we have our mentorship program here to guide you through that. It's a 12-week program where we guide you, we prepare you for this, get you business ready, contract ready, funding ready, even nonprofit ready. So, and in that program, in the mentorship program, we do what we call elevator pitches. But these are not basic elevator pitch. These are global elevator pitches that you can do for companies in foreign nations, if it's local, domestic, if it's regional or nationwide. That's how we prepare you guys. We want you talking about your value propositions. We want you talking about your unique selling proposition. We want you to talk about how you can solve pain for the client and make them feel better about hiring you as that company of choice. So that's what we do. Now, if we're looking at opportunities, say for Jamaica, for example, if that's one of the Caribbean nations that you've zeroed in on, here are some of the region or the areas in which you may want to look. Software development, that's really a big one for you. And my co-host has put BPO in here.
That's
Uh,
the business
Co-host, you want
process.
to tell you want
Yeah,
to tell them a
business.
little bit about the BPO, co-host?
Yeah, that's business process outsourcing, which is what we do when we're doing print to on demand, what we do when we use a Shopify or an Etsy or selling on any of those platforms that is already set up for you. They're the
Yeah.
ones that's distributing out the merchandise. So that means if you're in the t-shirt business or the clothing business, you no longer have to have a warehouse that has all the sizes of everything that you're producing. They send it out for you, and then they send you money in the through the finance your third party link,
Yeah.
which could be Square or Stripe, and it's deposited in your bank. I can't see a better way to do business.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. And another option is also PayPal. They can use that, and that's international.
Exactly.
So, I've used PayPal on an international level before. I've done business with folks in Thailand, and we use a PayPal process, and it's just amazing. It's very easy, very simple. When you put your dollar value in there, it converts it into the currency for that nation. It's just amazing.
Right,
So
exactly. So there you go, and you just and there you have it. You have it's so there's not even limitations on how you get paid, right? It's
yes,
already incorporated. You don't
yeah,
have to do anything different. Just your website would have the connection with whatever it takes you straight to your store, or your platform on those platforms. So that's really what that is. So
exactly,
and but in those
exactly.
countries, here is second nature for us.
Yeah.
It's not second nature in those countries. So these are opportunities for what they do, and how do you and your business fit with what their opportunities are.
And a big part of that happening, co-host, it promotes efficiency. So if let's say you target a country in the Caribbean, they produce or perform some work for you, right? You can pay them real quickly in a timely manner, so the payment will not be held up because you're using a PayPal process or a PayPal system. It makes it very convenient, very easy for the transaction to continue. So that's a good one. Now, another area in which you may want to explore if you're trying to do business in Jamaica is tourism. There's so many areas in tourism that you can explore. One, if there's certain items, materials that you want to produce here in the U.S. and export to that company in the country, that's a good thing. If you want to provide certain services, or you may even want to hire folks in that country to provide certain services for you, then you can go through their organization, and it makes it easier. I've uh, I've called different companies before, and the customer service person on the line was a Jamaican. I'm going, wait a second, what are you guys doing on this phone? They say, sorry, we're the ones handling this customer service process. I said, oh, great, thank you. It's good to know that.
So did you guys do a little patois?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. We went down that lane.
Talking to one of your kin folks?
We went down that lane. So where in Jamaica are you from? Man, I'm from Westmoreland. Oh, okay, Westmoreland, cool. And then a little thing about their region, which makes it even better to do business, because if you know a little bit about the region in which they located, and you talk a little bit about the history or what's going on, that makes it so much easier. So now you're building a relationship with these guys. So
I
that's
like
good.
that.
That's
I
good.
like that.
Oh yeah. So within the tourism realm, and then music, of course, that's a big area. It's international, so that's an area that one could target if they're trying to do business in Jamaica. Then you got the agribusiness. There's a lot of farming that goes on in Jamaica. And co-host, last week we talked about when we talked about the slavery, and we talked about the crops that they had, right? Here in the
Mhm.
US, they had cotton. In the Caribbean nations, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and those areas, they had sugar, right?
Mm.
But if you notice that these were cyclical. So after a certain point in time in the production cycle, certain products start declining, just like cotton declined here, and they no longer had a use for that. So they had to come up with another crop. Well, in Jamaica, sugar start declining. So what did they move on to? They move on to coffee and cocoa.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying? So the production activity stopped with the sugar and the sugar cane, but then it moved on to coffee and coca. So
Ah.
those
Okay.
are things that it helps you to understand when you're doing business with certain companies in certain region, know a little bit about the history, understand the market and all of those things.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
so with regard to the agribusiness, these are some of the things. Coffee, as we talked about that. Uh, Another thing about coffee is to get the best quality coffee, it has to be farmed and manufactured up in the mountains. The
Oh,
higher the mountain, the better the quality.
oh, okay,
And
okay.
that's why the best one of the best coffees in the world is Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, because it's farmed in one of the highest mountain peaks in the world. It's not the highest, but it's one of the highest. 1,700 square feet.
And
The
so is
high.
the soil better, more
Yeah.
enriched up there? Is that why
Yes.
it's up in the mountains?
Yeah, it's better, and because it's more moist in that area. There's a lot of dew, in the morning, at night, so it keeps it moist, and it keeps it the seeds germinated, and it's like watering your garden, right?
Ah,
You
yes.
don't have to water it because the weather provide that inclement uh, effect on the products, the produce.
And we always say when after it rains, which is not frequently here,
Yeah.
that we can actually see the difference from when we water our plants
Yes.
and when God water our plants. It's
Yes.
like they're just sitting there smiling. It's like a big sunburst comes out around them,
Yes.
and then they start turning green. And it's
Right.
like, I just watered you yesterday. You didn't look like this.
Exactly. Exactly. And see, the thing about it is, if you have rainfall for 2, 3 days in a row, you notice everything around you start getting green. The greenery is enhanced, right?
Right.
Because you have that moisture, you got the water. The same thing with the coffee in the mountains, because they have that dew fall, and it's not really rain, but it seems like rain, and it keeps things moist. That's why you see in the mountains it's always green up there, and
Yeah.
then like early evening you'll see like a cloud set over the mountain. You can hardly see the mountain ranges or trees or anything. In the morning it's the same thing. So it's like having an automatic garden system, hydro system up there
Right.
for the
Exactly. The
coffee.
best. The best.
Yeah. And then another major product that not too many people here in the US talk about is castor oil. Castor oil.
Well, really?
Castor oil it's a good medicine. People take that to flush out your system, flush out your intestines.
Hmm.
Castor oil, you can also use it in your hair. So a lot of black women use castor oil in their hair.
Yes.
So you got African Americans, Jamaicans, women in the Caribbean, the Haitians. They use castor oil, and it moistens your hair, keep it black and rich. It's healthy.
Yeah. Keep it from falling out.
As a matter of fact, there was an entrepreneur on Shark Tank, presenting and marketing castor oil here in the U.S., and she got a deal from the sharks because
Ah,
the way in which she pitched it, it was just amazing. She showed how they farm the castor in Haiti. They were doing. She's from Haiti, so
uh-huh.
that they farm the castor over there, and then they go to show them the process, the manufacturing process and the production, and how it gets to the end stage to become an oil. And the sharks saw that, they go, oh, this is amazing, we got to invest in this. So there are a lot of things, and again, like I say, if you're trying to market to certain groups, so let's say you're marketing to African American women, doing business in the Caribbean, it will be great for you because a lot of the remedies or beauty products or those types of things are really key and germane, and they're natural. So when you use those, you do a transaction with a company over there, it's just amazing for you.
And of course, in the Caribbean, that was the first stop, the third first stop for the African slave ships, the transatlantic,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So we getting things that were really their farming and their knowledge and expertise is really more directly to the continent than even ours, because
yes. Yeah.
That was they were really bringing their expertise with them. And then my understanding of the slave trade, the ones that they were looking for specific people for specific places,
Yes.
as to where they wanted to grow, especially the agribusiness, and how they wanted to, who they needed to do that. So a
Yeah.
lot of these people, because I know, you know, they and some of the from some of the African where they grow rice.
Yeah.
That was very indigenous to say South Carolina and North Carolina, where it was
Yeah.
swampy, and that's where they grew rice. So same thing here. Uh,
Right.
a lot of the businesses or the trade or what their specialties are is based
Hmm.
upon the people that grew them or the
Yeah.
ones that, yeah. So that's
Oh
really
yeah.
right, because they learned it from the motherland.
And here's another little known fact. I'm bearing away a little bit from the castor oil, but I'm going to talk about a food product right now. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people eat bread, right? And
Right.
bread is not good for you. Bread will do this to you, and is not really healthy. Well, during the slave enslavement period, some of the slave owners, they went to different nations in African nations, and they brought a fruit called breadfruit.
Mm.
So the fruit, it eats like bread, but it's not bread. It's the size of a coconut, right? Those jelly coconuts that you
Uh-huh.
pick up.
Uh-huh.
It's the size of that. It's green on the outside. Well, here's how you prepare it. You can either roast it or you can boil it.
Mm.
And some people fry it. So you bake it first, you roast it first, then you peel off the skin, then you slice it up. And I'm telling you, when you slice it up, it kind of looks like bread.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And it's just amazing. So, and it's filling. So when you eat that, you don't need to eat bread. That's why you see many of the Caribbean people, they look healthy, man. They're not eating any of that carbohydrate stuff that will really mess them up, because this is a fruit. This is a natural fruit that came from the trees.
Oh,
You know?
wow. How
Oh
neat.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. If you go to Jamaica with some friends, and people from there who know what they're doing, some of the when they go for breakfast or lunch or dinner, they'll ask for the breadfruit. They'll ask for the breadfruit, and
Oh,
yeah, that's great sustenance, right? That's what they used to feed the slaves. They used to feed them that, and they thought it was something horrible they were doing to the slaves, not knowing that they were giving them good sustenance.
so they can go out there and work even harder.
Yeah, I could work harder out there, So I just wanted to bring that up, co-host, to let you know that there are so many benefits to doing business with many of these Caribbean nations, because there's so many food products, man. It's just amazing, and it's healthy. It's good for you.
Awesome. Awesome.
So here's some potential business partnerships that you can establish in Jamaica. Technology, that's a good one. Beauty products, digital marketing, coffee brands, and wellness products. So see, the wellness product is like the breadfruit I just told you about. You see what I mean? So you wanna stab at the Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah, I'll
part
do
of it?
Trinidad, and for that. So here in America, what we got technology, beauty products is the main thing that happens around
Yeah,
here in this world over here.
yeah,
So look at that partnership, and digital marketing. These are the kind of businesses we are really good at, and I'm sure the coffee products, if they made up in the grown up in the mountains of Jamaica, must
yeah.
be pretty awesome for the
Oh
coffee
yeah,
drinkers.
man. Tastes so good.
Right, exactly. For those, yeah, need your shot of caffeine in the morning. Now, Trinidad and Tobago is best known for energy, manufacturing, industrial products, logistics, and financial services. So those are some of the things that we do well here as well, right? From the energy with solar, and we know in Jamaica and other countries of that nature, the grids are not necessarily like they are here in America. So being able to bring solar there and all of that wonderful sun, I think we talked about that last week as well. That seems to me like a great little partnership right there. And financial services. So I'm in financial services. You're technically in financial service. All of my friends are pretty much in financial
Yeah,
services.
yeah.
So, and we have, you know, that's an industry that's very translatable anywhere where you go, right? Because
and
that's needed.
and with the new features that we have in Small Biz Pro now, that can help these small businesses to pre-qualify them for loans and lines of credit. This will be perfect because it takes less than 5 minutes for them to do the questionnaire and to be able to determine if they are bank ready. If they need a line of credit for 50,000, are they really qualified for the 50,000? Maybe they're qualified for 45,000 or 40,000. You see what I mean? So
Exactly.
those are some of the relationships that can be developed. But one thing I want to jump on, co-host, is the energy part. Trinidad is the largest Caribbean nation, the largest producer of fuel in the Caribbean, the
Wow.
largest producer. And no one really knows that outside of the Caribbean. I mean, most of the Caribbean countries, that's where they get their fuel from. You'll never see the Jamaican uh, marketplace fighting over fuel with the Middle East or the US or anything like that. They get it specifically from Trinidad and Tobago. Most of the Caribbean nation, that's where they get it. So you got Trinidad and Venezuela. They're right there. They're neighbors, right? So
Ah.
those two are fuel producing countries.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and they do business sometimes together. So just want to put that out there, man. So to let some folks know that there's some gem activities going on in the
Gym
Caribbean.
activities.
Gem activities.
So the opportunities for you as a business owner, if this is the area and space you're in, is industrial partnerships, manufacturing. We have a lot of engineers here in this country, and a lot of our people, minorities, actually have gone to school to be engineers. Well,
Yeah,
there's just so much can happen here in the United States. We have monopolies everywhere over the in throughout the United States. So
yeah,
and so, some of those areas are just not, there's no entry, there's
right,
no open door for you to get in. So
right.
you can take your manufacturing and engineering skills and construction skills and export distribution and go there. So if you got some gadgets that you've been created and engineered, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
And if you can't find a marketplace here for you to operate in, and the one thing that's been happening in America a lot is the monopolies. All the airlines are all under one umbrella. The banks are all under one umbrella, making it very hard for this little business owner, this macro and micro business owner to do business here. So that's a great way for that. So
hmm,
Barbados is next in the line of lines there.
yeah. So here they're known for fintech. Now, if folks are wondering what fintech is, I'll tell you what fintech is. Fintech is about financial businesses that's in technology. So, a fintech would be like, those funding arms that's the Capital One would be one of those. You do business with them online. They don't have a physical store or physical location. They
Right.
operate online and they help you with lines of credit and those types of things. Some of them help you with your business credit as well. So those are fintech businesses. On bank is another one. Those are fintech entities. So all of those, you can do a lot of those in Barbados. Professional services, stuff like you and I, what we do, we provide workshop training, we elevate and we strengthen small businesses, we provide mentorship, all of those things. Those are opportunities for Barbados. And as you know, my campaign right now, co-host, is to go to foreign countries like the Caribbean and
Mm-hmm.
Central America and provide these types of services to the entrepreneurs there. So I'm pretty excited about this, man. Renewable energy, that's another opportunity that can be obtained there in Barbados. Medical tourism. Look at that.
Mm.
Medical tourism. No one would ever think of that, huh?
All right, exactly, exactly. And we'll have to dwell in to see what that looks like. Because medical,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people that are in that space,
Right.
and a lot of talented people with great ideas. So maybe there's some new opportunities for you there to
Right.
bridge that gap.
Right. 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 So insurance is another uh area of service that's being offered in Barbados. And that would be ideal for professional firms, consultants, financial technology, and remote services. So these are just amazing things. I think I kind of forgot to mention when we were talking about Trinidad, co-host.
Uh-huh.
I forgot to mention the number of barrels of oil they produce every year. How about 18.5 million to 19.7 million barrels of oil
In where were we? In Trinidad?
in Trinidad, Trinidad and Tobago, man?
Really?
Yeah, see, it's a sleeper. No one really knows those things. They don't know that. So that's why the Caribbean nations, they're set. They're set with the fuel that they purchase because they don't have to come into the American market or the Middle Eastern market, the Arabian market, and fight with them about oil. They've got their source right there, and which would equate to 51,000 to 54,000 barrels per day. Per
Wow.
day.
Yeah, they don't really need to.
51,000 to
Yeah.
54.
Wow. Wow.
So these are true facts that anyone can verify. They can go to Google, check it out, go to Chat GPT, check it out if they want. These are solid facts. And just a little something for folks to think about, man. Okay, I'll give you Guyana. Go ahead and
Okay, so Guyana, so right along that same line, Gilbert, is one of the fastest growing economies because of oil production.
there you
Uh,
go.
so prior to now, and it's bordered by the Atlantic Ocean, Venezuela, Brazil, and Suriname. It features dense rainforests and coastal plains, but um, it has recently, traditionally, its economy was based on agriculture and mining, but has recently seen a major boom due to recent oil discoveries. So it's
Mhm.
right there, probably going to even produce more than Trinidad. And I guess Trinidad
Yeah,
is not too far from Guyana,
Trinidad
is it?
Trinidad is the biggest producer. So Guyana would fall, in a secondary area.
Okay, all
Um,
righty. So it's great, has great influences from its African, Indian, and indigenous populations, and which is reflected into their music and their food and their sports like cricket. So oil, though, is their biggest new discovery, and it is really transforming their economy. So if you are the opportunities and would be ideal for those of you that are in infrastructure building, construction, food supply, business services, housing, and professional services and agricultural. So just think about this. This is like California was when it was the gold rush, right? So
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
so this might be a really good place to start. Guyana
Yeah.
might be a really great place to start.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And see, people don't think about that. I mean, the living is a little bit more simple than here in the US. It's not as ostentatious as it is here, where people are flashy, they're bougie, they gotta wear certain things. In those countries, life is a lot simpler. The houses are not as flashy, but you get the productivity, you get the production out of it.
And due to this new oil discovery, it has become an extremely wealthy country. So
Yes.
I might
Yeah.
have to make a visit there to just check that out.
I
But
think you should check it out because lately, this is what I found out. Lately, they found out that there's increased production in barrels of oil. They got now 273 million. 273 million. Oh my lord. 273 million barrels of oil. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's now puts Trinidad in second position.
second position, and it says here the government received hundreds of millions of dollars in annual oil royalties and carbon credits, fueling rapid construction of new roads and hospitals and schools. I
Yeah.
say if you're in the construction business, the infrastructure business, you need to be running in
Yeah. Yeah.
this country.
Yeah. So you see how we're paying almost $7 a gallon for fuel right now.
Right.
Over there, you're probably paying like $1.50 or
Well,
less.
that's like in the Middle East, so like Qatar and Saudi Arabia, because oil production is like water is like water, so they
Yeah.
pay a dollar. In Qatar, every resident gets it's the royalties that are being paid to the people that actually live there. So every household in, if you're a native and you are a citizen of Qatar, everybody gets a monthly stimulus, and it's really more not a stimulus; it's really more royalty payoffs for the oil
Yeah.
that is there,
Just for being a citizen.
just for being a citizen. So I would say that that would be perfect. That would same thing could eventually happen in Guyana as well. But at the same time, we all know that the areas that have the largest population is probably reaping the benefits more so than the rural. So those people that are into infrastructure, being able to go out to the rural areas and the working class and actually helping them build infrastructure
Right,
in
right.
those areas. And I think that would be a great thing. So because the country, the people, the poor people are probably still very poor.
Yeah.
And that's a good space to say for those of us that educate and train, the
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. Me going there to teach entrepreneurship programs to their young people as well as their adults, so that they could get in on the big boom that's going on in their
Exactly.
country, right? So that's how I
Right.
see it. So is being able to help the culture with with professional services that we have.
Yeah.
And Gilbert, you would contracts
Oh, for
for
sure.
those people so that they could benefit from all of the opportunities that are being presented in
Definitely.
that country.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's Guyana. So that one's a good one right there. Barbados as well, but that's been populated. This is like the newfound regions. It's like
Yes,
going
that's
west.
like that's like a newfound a gold mine there.
Yeah, go west, my man. Go
Yeah.
west.
Amazing, amazing. Now Bahamas, the Bahamas is it's set up in such a way because it's a part of the US. Well, it's a territory of the US. So it's US influenced, but they're still business opportunities in terms of tourism, but this type of tourism is more luxury tourism, you know, that they offer or the opportunity exists for. So that's another area in which businesses from here may want to engage some of those businesses over there, even the government agencies, and see how they could help to enhance some of those type of activities. Hospitality, that's another one. And then you've got marine in the marine industry, because the Bahamas, they do a lot of fishery and seafood. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So, and then financial services, just like many of the other Caribbean nations that we mentioned before, and real estate. A lot of people are moving to those areas. So, real estate is a big one.
Yeah.
Now, yes. So the business industry are the ones we mentioned before, the luxury experiences. Event management would be another area in which, because they have a lot of concerts and stuff down there, all types of things.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Sinbad. You remember Sinbad, a comedian?
Yeah. He used to have
He took a
there
trip.
and
Yeah, he took a trip to the Bahamas and he did like an old school concert with many of the old school singers, right? And they performed, because he's kind of an old school guy. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always wanted when I was younger. I always wanted to go to the Sinbad Summer Fest.
yes,
So
yeah,
that but never got there. But yeah,
yeah,
that would have been fun. Also, you know, because of the water, it's beautiful water. I've actually been to the Bahamas, and I've went to the big huge hotel, the
yeah.
Atlantis. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Um, and mostly at the time when I went, and this was I was coming in from a cruise, and this is one of the spots. Of course, they're directing you to all the jewelry that's on those islands, and lots of beautiful jewelry for good prices. They got to a point where every time we got off on a port, it's like, okay, I cannot look at any more jewelry. I don't want any more jewelry. Is that the only thing that we looking at is jewelry? And
you
so
you were all drooled out.
I was all drooled out. So for those of you that are in those type of luxury experiences, I think if you're in the tourism business, being able to put together groups that really want to go visit other countries, but they don't want to go by themselves. I have a
Yeah,
girlfriend. She was a promoter actually, and she used to do all kinds of major promotion parties. And spent my mid of my 30s and my 40s hanging out at in her parties. But then one day she said, she took a group of women to Italy and she loved it so much. And after that, every year she did that until she finally moved to Italy.
wow.
And now she's doing tours everywhere. So
See,
women
that's
from
that's a business that she created that no one would ever think of. You see what I
right,
mean?
exactly. And now she's moved from Italy to Dubai to Saudi Arabia to Thailand because she's already on the other side of the world and she still
Yeah,
lives in Italy. She loves it. Our friend Cassie Betts. Cassie
yeah.
Betts now lives. She is teaching digital
Where?
in. She is in Italy.
Really?
Yeah, she's
I
teaching
did not know that.
tech. She has some tech classes, some AI classes. She
Wow.
came back home for a short period of time. I think right now she went to Hawaii. She came to Los Angeles. She went to Hawaii. Then she went to Japan. And that's where some of her family from. I think she even went to Puerto Rico. Now she's on her
Yeah.
way back. So she's getting ready for the school season. So that's what she's doing. She left during the pandemic and hasn't
Wow.
come back.
That's amazing. That's amazing. See, as entrepreneurs, man, we need to be able to carve out certain niche in marketplaces, whether it's local, regional, national, or international. Carve out certain niches, man, and just be about it, 10 toes down. You know what I mean? Make it happen.
Right, and we limit our own self, right? We're thinking,
Yeah.
oh, we can't do that. We got all this here in America. We can't. Some people like, I'm out, I'm gone,
Yeah.
and I didn't done my real estate. I didn't done my research. I'm going to do my business over here.
Yeah. Yeah. I already told you where I'm going.
Yeah, you
so
did, Costa
so
Rica.
yeah, because I already got that lined up. So now, expanding to some of these Caribbean nations, it's going to be perfect. So this is
It's going to
good.
be perfect. Exactly. So
This
now
is
the
good.
Dominican. So the Dominican Republic, they're best for manufacturing medical devices, textiles, culture, and export processing. So
Right.
now a excellent entry point for manufacturing partnerships um, would be uh, manufacturing partnerships. So, and all in those areas, right?
Yeah.
Manufacturing medical devices,
Right.
textiles, being able to create new textiles and being able to export them back in or import them back in or export them or create your own little online store so they can be bought from online, right? You don't even have
And
to do any of the governmental pieces of this. It's an online business.
And also, what I'm thinking, with medical devices being a big demand occupation, a demand field there in the Dominican Republic, that means that comes with medical coding also. So, you know how they have a lot of entrepreneurs here who do medical coding for hospitals and all of that. They could do that there too. And they can make a killing on that because what they're doing is coding certain practice procedures and all of that. They're also doing collections. Some of them are doing collecting medical bills that people are not paying on. So that's a nice little space right there.
Yeah, it's a
And you
nice
can
little
do it,
space.
you can do it online.
Exactly. And this, exact, like I'm saying, that I mean, it's not like it used to be where we are not globally connected because we are. That's the whole purpose for the closing what was it, the digital divide or whatever they used to call that. Well,
Yeah.
now we can have conversations with anyone around the world. All you have to do is calculate the time zone. That's all you have to do is know that if you're going to be teaching in America from out of the country, it's going to be at nighttime. It's going to be
Yeah.
in the middle of the night because it's 10, 12, 14 hours. When I talk to my daughter, she's in Cairo, and she'll call me at 11:30, 10:30 at night, and it's like 9:30 in the morning, or 8:30 in the morning there. So
Right.
we're having conversations. If I talk to her at night, it's in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the morning over there. So you
Right.
just find that right time. But fabric, textiles is fabric, right? And
Yeah.
the one thing that we are into right now is vibrant, the African prints, the Caribbean, the culture,
Yes.
right? If you're into the culture, this is what you do. You're going to the places where that culture originated,
Right.
and now you have a product, you have a customer base over here. So don't just have to stick to the same old everyday kind of fabrics. You can go over there and identify some new fabrics and come back and manufacture it over there, cost you less, and sell it online. How about that?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And my co-host, I'm sure you noticed something special about this trend that we're talking about right now. What is that you noticed about these?
What I notice is not one of them have anything to do with owning a hotel.
There you go.
Yeah, no,
There
you don't have.
you
We ain't
go.
talking about big hundreds of millions of dollars to own a hotel. You don't have to own a hotel to work and be part of the Caribbean experience.
That's right, man. That's right. That's a big observation my co-host noticed, man. It's like, hey, it doesn't cost that much.
Exactly. So, but what they do require There are amazing opportunities and relationships and expertise, your expertise that you've created. You've either gone to school and learned this expertise, or you've worked someplace and created or absorbed this expertise. Um, and now you can go and take this expertise, not just here in the country where you live in, but wherever you want to go. So, and that's in your logistics, that's in technology and distribution, not real estate. Now down the line, after you become a multimillionaire, you might want to buy some shoreline properties and maybe put a little bed and bath there. I mean, a little bed and what do you call them? A breakfast and
Bed and breakfast,
bed
right,
and
right.
breakfast right there, and you can bring in. Now you've expanded to tourism.
Just like that. Just
Just
like
like
that.
that, just like that. Because you would get a whole lot of people wanting to come visit with you there. So
Mm.
we're not talking, we could, but we're not talking about real estate. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about
Yeah,
utilizing things that you already have, that you're doing business here, but you're maxed out here, right? You're not making the kind of money you really could make if you really ventured outside of your backyard.
right, right. And the
So
one thing that we notice about this is that what? That these industries are ready for collaboration. They are ready for collaboration. And these industries are the beauty, the technology, the agriculture, cybersecurity, AI, healthcare, and what's the other ones, co-host?
the other ones are healthcare,
Education.
education, creative industries, construction, renewable energy, import, export, tourism, food processing, professional services, business consulting. Now, I myself have consulted with so many people that fit all of these categories in the 30 years that I have been in business, and I'm sure you have as well, Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Instead of playing in this little pond over here, there's a
Hmm.
big old world out there for you to actually jump into. So we really want you guys to open up your mind, think differently, think outside of the box here, and think about how we do that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
So now the biggest question is, how do we actually begin?
right.
This is probably the question that everyone's been asking because they're listening to what we're saying and go, well, I like what you're saying, but how do I get started? Well, step one, you may want to look at the relationship part. You want to start that. How do you establish a relationship with there? Well, you could reach out to companies, do an introductory letter or email, introduce yourself and your company. But before you do those things, make sure you have your company profile in place. You may want to have a statement of qualifications, do a little SOQ. If you don't know how to do it, guys, you reach out to me because that's what we do in our mentorship program. I'll show you how to do that. So you get your statement of qualification, you have your capability statement, and also your statement of qualifications when you're introducing yourself to these folks. Or you can go to certain event. There might be international procurement event that you may want to go to. You'll meet some of these company representatives there that you can speak to. There is a procurement conference that goes on every year. I believe it's in April of every year. And every year it's in a different state. So that might be another place to go to meet folks from foreign nations who may want to do business with you here in the US. So just think about that a little bit. So you're doing the relationship, you're not looking at doing transactions because some people get turned off when the first thing you're doing is trying to do a transaction with them. They don't even know you, they don't know your history, they don't know if you're a criminal or not. Why do they want to do business with you? So you want to start building that relationship and you know uh, talk to them about it, attend these events, go to trade missions if you can. And my co-host and I, we're working on establishing a trade mission right now. And this could be to the Caribbean or one of the the African diaspora areas. So yeah, we're working on that. We may not be the ones organizing it, but we'll be working with folks who are very savvy in putting those trade missions together. So think
Exact
about those things.
and introductions, right? For that.
Yeah,
And so just really thinking, and let's go back for one little second about not transactional. So
yeah,
here's the thing, and I think even when you're doing business here in America, this is my biggest pet peeve with LinkedIn. You get you're connecting and you get to see people all over the world, and LinkedIn is definitely one of those places that you can utilize. But you're using their automatic feature, and that automatic feature is already selling you something, and I don't know you from Adam.
yes, yes,
Right?
yes,
It's
yes.
like going on a dating service, and you haven't spent any time chit chatting with each other to find out if you may be like son of Sam, and already you asking me to meet you at your house. Uh, None of that's gonna happen.
That's a good point. That's a
None
good
of that's
point.
gonna happen. We need to start with the get to know each other, build a
Yeah,
relationship, make sure that I'll know that you're not the son of Sam.
yeah.
So, but your home is off limit. Your office is off limit. Everything we got to do is in the public. So
and
we
and people like to do business with others that they like, know, and trust. So they're not just gonna
right.
invite you to their home like that.
Right. So the same way you should be doing business in America is the same format. Don't come off the bat asking me to buy something and I don't even know who you are.
That's a
Just thought
good
I would
point.
interject that, Gilbert.
So that's a good point. So
so
business
so you're
business
gonna
conferences,
and
right?
yeah, business conferences
Yeah,
and
business
chamber of
conferences are some of the great places to go to meet some of these folks because from time to time people travel from different countries to there was a conference on AI technology that was going on here in the US. I think it was in Texas. And these folks who were present, some of these folks, they were from there's a Dutch Caribbean island. I'm trying to remember the name of that. Oh, I can't think of the name right now. But that's where they came from, and I was just so impressed that they came here to the US to do the AI conference and the training and all that. So guys, when you think of conferences, especially if there'll be international attendees, you want to check them out and see if you can establish relationships with those folks. So different chamber events, industry conferences, startup competitions, those are also ways that you can get involved. Co-host had talked about a startup competition under the Marcus Garvey economic program. You talked
hmm
about that, what, 3-4 weeks ago,
we
three,
did, we
four
did.
shows ago? Yeah.
And that's just us being able to reinvest back in. And I was having that conversation with somebody that is thinking of getting out of the banking system because it has certain restrictions and limitations, and for certain grouping of people, it has notoriously been like that. And we were both saying, it makes no, there's some very wealthy people within our community, and kind of the same concept as a Shark Tank. Why cannot there not be a big startup competition or even a growth competition for certain business people? And there's money that's there to get someone started, right? Ten,
Right.
$15,000 goes a long way when you're starting a business, right? You can
Right.
cover everything. You can get your professional look, your website done professionally. You don't have to piece it out, and then that growth one would be, you know, and I think that grow room could be um, uh, one if you need to hire employees, but you're doing that or marketing because you got a new product that you're about to launch that really has the potential to just take your business to another level, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to acquire partnerships and advisory and relationships from a bigger pool. And this is how you network. But you gotta you gotta be business ready. You gotta be loan ready,
Yeah.
business ready. So all of those readiness, all of the three B's need to
Yeah.
be in place when you get to that growth level, right? So that
Right.
now you're being introduced to other people that may be even in your space, and there's a partnership. So kind of like when they do the matching with procurement matching, there's
Yes.
a space
Yes.
where you have procurement matching and
Yeah.
partnership matching, business matching. Now you guys want to go do business in Guyana, or Barbados
Trinidad.
or Trey, and now I got professional services here, I got engineering here, I got construction here. Now let's go and let's do a big proposal to these locations. Now we're not just coming in piecemeal; we're coming in as a big conglomerate, and you've
Yeah.
developed a partnership, and that's how we have to look at things, I think.
I like the question that you've created here, co-host, that says, what problems are businesses trying to solve in Trinidad or in Jamaica or in Guyana or in the Bahamas, that type of thing. So now you're trying to learn their pain points. What pain points do you have? And I really like that as an introductory conversation instead of saying, hey, what can I sell you? I got these widgets over here that you guys will definitely need. Now, now those Caribbean nations, they see sun most of the years. They don't really see snow. So, that widget that you're trying to sell might be a snow friendly product. They're going,
Right,
wait a
exactly, right, right. Shovel, a shovel.
yeah, here's a shovel we're trying to sell you. So, asking that question, what problems are businesses trying to solve? I think that's a great way to start a conversation with a potential partner in one of these Caribbean nations. And that would be great, instead of trying to sell them, instead of what can I sell you? So, yeah, I think that's a great thing. What do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
think so. Because it's a mindset. In
Yeah.
mindset alone, it changes the conversation when I come to you and I'm asking, so what, and that's how I do with the kids. What problems do you see within your community? What problems do you see within your home world, in your local neighborhood and schools and so forth? Because now that's the secret to being successful in business is
Yeah.
if your business is solving a problem and it's an ongoing problem that no
Yeah.
one has had come up with the solution to, you
Right.
in, man,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
will become extremely successful in
Yes.
that if you're solving a problem. If it's
Yeah.
just another widget that has no more meaning and you're not standing out within the population,
Yes.
means nothing, right? It means absolutely
Definitely.
nothing. So
Definitely.
so
Definitely.
um
So
and so
step
that's
two.
step one. So let's go over to step two. So I hope you guys are taking some copious notes
I
as
hope
you go
so.
through.
I
So
hope you
step
guys are. So you
is
want to
right.
buy before you sell. You want to buy before you sell, guys. Hire Caribbean professionals. That would be a good way. Use their services. That means you can speak with authority about it because you've used it. Build trust. You got to build that trust. And then you want to develop referrals so you can say, hey, at least these folks right here know my service. They know my work. They know what I do. So they can speak to that with confidence. Become a part of the ecosystem before expecting for it to support you. So this is like going to a certain community. Let's say I'm trying to think of the. Let's say this is wine country, right? We're going to
Yeah,
wine country up there in California. So we're going to Sonoma, for
right.
example. right?
Uh-huh.
So they have grapes. So, but before try to establish a relationship with them about, hey, you guys should buy my stuff. It's good for your wine. Buy these bottles. It's good for your wine. You buy the wine first, so you buy the grapes too, and you sample it, you experience it, and then you can speak to that. Then they have a conversation with the producers, and then you can talk later about the differences in their bottling system versus the one that you're trying to sell them. So that's kind of what it is. You want to deal with
Exactly.
step
So
three,
you just
co-host?
right. So yeah, I will. But you just don't go. So so if you're thinking about uh, doing business in one of these countries, no,
Yeah,
don't just Google it and look at all the travel brochures and everything that you see on the internet. Now you need to
right.
get on the plane and you need to go there. But you going there from a tourist, from not from being a tourist. You're going there to survey the environment to see exactly where you're going to fit, right?
Yeah,
And if there are other people that are doing what you do, so that you're not infringing or encroaching on them, like you're coming in from America and I'm the big know-it-all, and
yeah.
I know how to fix all your problems. No, I'm coming in to find out what yeah, just so I can see the lay of the land, so I can get to know people. You might have to visit a couple of times, right?
Yeah,
So that you are being able to connect with people and treating them with respect and not demeaning them in the sense that I'm from the big America,
yeah. And
and
you're just a little Caribbean country. You're underdeveloped, so you don't
right,
know these things.
exactly. So you're not coming in there like that. You're not coming in to be the bullish American. You're
Yeah,
coming in to be someone that's looking for opportunities that is going to benefit that country, and you're going to work with them to make
yeah,
that happen. You're not
right.
coming in to take over. You're not gonna kick them out their own country. You're not gonna become the next powerhouse in their country. You're coming there to say, "Hey, I'm really looking to expand my business, and I want to see how I can do that and how we can do that together." That would be more of
Yes.
the approach. So the step three is what we just talked about: build a joint venture. So we're not coming in to take over. We're going to create partnerships. One company, just imagine, one company contributes technology, the other company contributes the marketing in order to get the technology exposed to the world. That's what we talk
Mhm.
about. We're talking
Yeah,
about a win-win situation for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Not you just coming there to become wealthy on their grounds and then go back to your grounds and be the big guy on the campus. No,
Nobody likes
how
that.
right. So how do we help each other? So every great partnership thrives because people need each other, right?
Yeah,
So that's all we're doing is and from the approach that we're using here uh, for this whole series is Marcus Garvey. How do we
yeah,
as people, and not just us, but how do we as people of the diaspora come together to work together and to be able to build together and be able to change our current situation all over the world, right? So we're coming in as a brethren, not
yeah.
as the bully neighbor but next door that says,
I
"Oh,
like I like the way you coined that, goes. You're not coming like the bully neighbor from next.
oh, yeah, we're not coming in the neighborhood and telling you all of a sudden your trash can sitting on the corner is really a distraction."
I like that. I like that.
You got here yesterday. I've been here 25 years now. You telling me my trash cans are a distraction? No, we're not coming in as those people. Remember that, guys. We're coming as friends that
Yes,
want
I
to get
like
to
that.
know other people. Because we sometimes have that tendency, Gilbert.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Oh man. So using the diaspora network, like universities, churches, professional associations, trade associations, even LinkedIn. And of course, you want to use the business zone that you're on right now because you have these two great resources here. Professor Crystal Mitchell and our co-host, the little Gilbert Buchanan.
But think about this. So, and it's those introductions. It's about us knowing who we each personal relationships, right? So,
Yes.
Gilbert is from Jamaica. So, if
Yeah.
you've been to Jamaica and you saw some opportunities there, Gilbert might be that person you have call and give that card. And say, hey, Gilbert, what do you think about us going to Jamaica? And I'm thinking about doing this. Would you be interested in maybe seeing and at least being able to help me learn the land, the lay of the
Right.
land? He's from Jamaica. Um, I has family and relatives there. Same thing else. If we all look amongst our friends, we have friends that migrated here from another country, and that country might be in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
and they might have been wanting to do that for a long time. Like I have a girlfriend, her grandparents were from Barbados, and she was left some land there, and
Mm.
so she's always wanted to go back to Barbados. And
Hmm.
maybe there's a construction person or contractor or
Right.
somebody that is going, well, let's go see the land. Maybe there's something that we can do together,
Hmm.
or and we can join forces and partnerships and go there. And do you still have family there on the island? And so I'd like to just go just to see, get a feel for it and see
Yeah.
if there's opportunity. So when we say using your diaspora network, it means yes, all of these, but also
Hmm.
means people that you know that are
Right.
come from those countries that go visit their family members all the time. They know what they need, right?
Mm.
They know what's missing. And when they come to America, they're all, their family members like, oh yeah, we don't have this in our country, but maybe
Yeah.
this is something, this is a way to do it. So that's an introduction that definitely can unlock a treasure of relationship, right? A whole treasure
Right.
chest because they're already there. They already know what is needed. They already have people there, and those people can introduce you to the right people so that you can cut through some of that red tape.
That's right. That's right. I agree.
Yeah,
100%. And of course, a community briefing with my co host, which she created and she hosts right now. It comes on every Thursday morning, 11 o'clock. It's a podcast, and she's got a team of other members that's on the show as well. So check out the community briefing. As a matter of fact, some of the important contacts from foreign nations, specifically the African diaspora, they've been on her shows. So check it out and go to YouTube and check. Just type the community briefing and you'll see all the videos on that, guys.
yeah,
Check it out.
that's the purpose of that, to introduce people to the stakeholders and the leaders and the people that have opportunities, and we, the whole idea is to work together and to
Yeah,
do business together. So that's the mindset over there, and so yeah, we've had a number of amazing people who have come from other places all around the nation as well as the country. We, in fact, I think recently we had somebody that called in from Italy because he's an Italian, and he's written several books on dialysis and diabetes and how it affects people, black people more so than others, and some of the interesting medical things that happen or lack of medical. And so he has some solutions for that. And so he's outside of the country and recognize a gap here in America, and so now he wants to do, to be able to get the word out. And his book is really talking about, some things to do before you even get to a place where you have to have dialysis. So
right.
yeah, that's some of the things that's there.
Definitely. So you want to take step 5 there,
Yeah.
co-host?
So step five, which that says should say five.
Y-
Think regionally.
Yeah.
Don't build on one island, right? You want to look at all, and if it's doable, and as you guys could see, there's a lot of overlap in what the needs were in these countries. So this could be one island could be the beginning, but then you can actually look at the entire landscape of the Caribbean and see what opportunities you that can branch into the Caribbean, then Africa, then North America, then Europe. So remember, we're talking the African diaspora, and the African diaspora lives all over the entire world here, not just one place. And so that's what we're looking at. And then, so you want to bring Maya Angelou says, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. So we all came from the same place. A lot of us have had the same experiences, some to larger magnitude than others, but nevertheless, we've all been there. And so that's what we're doing. We're going, again, not to take over, we're going to connect us with the diaspora and the opportunities that are there. So not just one of us is going to benefit, all of us should be
Yeah.
able to benefit. And that's what we're looking at here, is to be able to create an environment. And so this last part just kind of closes us out, and I'll just go back to the very first slide here, because now we've gone past the part that you guys need to be seeing and connecting with. So we're going to come back to where we were, the Caribbean as a global hub. And so, Gilbert, what still would get in the way or has gotten in the way if these opportunities are so good, and they appear to be, at least on paper, right? Why isn't anybody doing this?
I think one of the first one is the mindset that these are little countries, so they don't want to partner, or they don't deserve to partner with you, because they're thinking that they're bigger than these countries, but they don't know the magnitude of opportunities they can get, because the thing with these Caribbean islands, they talk to each other. May not seem that way, but they talk to each other. So if they have a bad experience, they'll share it with Barbados. They'll share it with Guyana, Trinidad. They'll share it with Saint Nevis and Vincent. Saint Vincent and Nevis. You have Saint
Mm,
Kitts. You've got all of those different countries. They share it, because I was watching some videos late last night on Caribbean countries,
mm,
and it was amazing when I was watching it. I was watching um, Nevis and St. Kitts.
uh-huh.
But the people there, when they were talking, they sound like Jamaicans. I'm going, wait a second, what's going on here? And then I start looking at some of the stores, and the stores have the Jamaican flags and all of those things. I was like, wait, this isn't Jamaica. This is supposed to be St. Kitts. But then when I checked it out, you even see some of them with the dreadlocks, and just
Uh-huh.
like you would see in Jamaica. But that's how they operate. If you go to different countries, like even Belize, if you go to Belize, because they sound like Jamaican, man, even though they speak Spanish, they
Yeah.
sound like Jamaican when they speak the patois. So even there, they play the Jamaican music, the culture is strong, they exhibit a lot of those things. So knowing their culture, understanding how they move, and be able to relate to them that way, that's a big benefit, and should
Mm,
not be a barrier to any of them. But
mm,
yes, I think they come in with this mindset that they're more superior and all of that, so they never get the deal.
Okay, I see. And so,
Yeah,
and then the other things everything else kind of falls into place, right? One,
yeah,
like you said, they don't even know that the possibilities are actually there.
right,
Uh, uh, Limited knowledge. So some people have never left the state that they were born in, and so
right,
it's kind of hard to know that there's other opportunities if you've never left home.
Right.
And so being able, we need to expand and grow. And first, you can just go to the internet and just see where what you could do. And trust me, guys, everyone always thinks when it comes to Gilbert to travel that it costs so much, like $20 million just to travel to Jamaica, or or whatever, wherever you're going. And then I've had people tell me when I said I've gone to Cairo several times, or South Africa, how long is that flight? Oh, I can't do a flight more than 2 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's going to be a little problem because some of them are a little longer. Although Jamaica and the Caribbean island is probably no more than flying to New York or
Yeah.
flying to Florida, so it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You read a book, go in the middle of the night, 6 hours, and it's like you go at the red eye. You're there, you slept, you wake up in the morning, you're there. What the heck?
And another thing that they may want to look at if they want to check out these countries is the currency exchange. So if you take 5,000, because when you travel, they allow you to take up to a little under 10,000
Mm-hmm.
without it being an issue. But if it's
Right.
10,000 or a little more, then you start dealing with the tax man here.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. Because when I go to Cairo, if it wasn't for the fact I was going there for family,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't cost me any more than the hotel and the flight. That's probably the most biggest expense, and that's still under a couple thousand, under $1,500. And we can blow that buying shoes and clothes.
Yeah.
And then once I get there, my food and all that sort of stuff, if I
Yeah.
spend $200, that's pretty big for us. But if I'm doing it, yeah, I'm there with daughters and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, that if I'm doing now, I'm giving money and buying things for them, so that's a little different. But even then, I'm still spending under $400.
Yes.
I stayed at a 5-star hotel for 5 days, and it
Right.
cost me $350.
Wow.
Right there on the Nile, and it
Man.
was awesome. And got first class treatment as well. A beautiful hotel. So
Yeah.
yeah, so guys, it doesn't cost as much, and you just have to, be do a little saving if this is what you're doing. It's called
Yeah.
investment because you're going
Yeah.
there for business purposes. So now
Right.
you get to write it off. You get to write
And
off some.
here's a quick point I want to add, co-host. My strategy when I present in front of new groups of entrepreneurs, never seen, never heard of me or my program before. One of the things I usually do, I give them a little something for free. I give them a gift. I'll do
Mm-hmm.
the assessment for free or something to that effect, so they can see that I'm providing value. I'm bringing value to them. I just met you. You don't know me, but I'm bringing value to you. So then they start looking at you differently because you gave them something. Same thing when you meet with these folks, these businesses in Caribbean nations. You can give them a little something for free, give them a free trial, free subscription, or, something to that effect that they'll see
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, one, you're serious about doing business. Two, you're willing to concede and give them something for free, a gift, and
Mm-hmm.
then later on you can convert that over into you know doing something together. So I just
Exactly.
wanted to put that out there.
And that's important because again, we're not going there to be the bully Americans. We're going there to do business with each
Yeah.
other, and so they gotta like you people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we come to a close on this particular chapter,
Right.
let's dream a little. Imagine it's now 2035 because it's gonna take a little minute. We're not leaving. This ain't gonna happen next year,
Mhm.
but because you got to do your research, you got to come up with some ideas, you got to build on it, and now we're 2035, which is literally what we're in 27. What's that? 6 years from
less
now?
less
Less
than
than
10 years.
Less than 10 years.
Yeah.
What would success look like by that time? So this is we're using your imagination, people.
That's a good question right there, Coho. What does success look like? Because the sources that we think success should come from will not necessarily come from that source. You know, we talk about government contracts. Some people may think, okay, I'll get rich doing government contracts from maybe the city, the county, the state, or the feds. It may not come from that. It may come from doing business in Caribbean nations, you know? So, you know, if you want to do a dream scenario and think, okay, in 10 years, where do I want to be? How do I see myself? This is a great way to envision that happening in the Caribbean.
Exactly. So you could be a black owned software company um, in Kenya developing AI for businesses in Atlanta. So we're talking about bringing the gap, closing the gap, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So farmers in Jamaica supplying ingredients to business beauty companies in Chicago. Right
yeah,
now, you're getting some homegrown, some homegrown stuff. Right,
yeah,
so
yeah,
no additives, none of that stuff that all those extra long words that we find. This is actually farmers that are supplying you with their ingredients and
wow,
financial firms in Barbados advising entrepreneurs in Houston, right? And I usually see that people from other countries have a broader international view than those of us that were born in the United States. Do you feel that, Gilbert?
yep. I feel the same way you do.
Yeah, I have friends. I have a girlfriend that's from South Africa, and some other friends that are from Canada and some other places in Africa. They have a different outlook, England, than we do. Construction companies in Guyana partnering with firms in Los Angeles for all that great big oil thing, that big
Yeah,
old boom that they got going on there.
yeah,
Investors in New York financing startups in Trinidad. Um, these are some and they're and having startups that are expanding into Ghana or Nigeria. It's not charity. It's that's called commerce, right? And
yeah,
that's called wealth creation, and that's what we're calling a global black economy, and that's what that could look like. So we're not just isolated to little bitty old where we are. We actually are bridging a gap and being able to build networks, international networks, and it really does expand our horizons and our opportunities. So that's basically what we're talking about, guys. So the biggest obstacle isn't the geography. It isn't the language. It's not even the money, and it never is the money. People just think it is. It's the lack of having intentional business networks that take us outside of our comfort zones and be able to let us see things differently. And so, um, when we think about the African diaspora, it's one of the most culturally connected communities in the world. Now it's time to become one of the most economically connected communities in the world. And the future won't be built by waiting for governments or institutions to do it for us. It's going to be built by us entrepreneurs, us investors, us innovators, and business leaders willing to create value together. And remember, the Caribbean isn't the edge of the map, it's the bridge. So that's
yeah,
what we want all of you to know, that this is a bridge. We're providing you with a thought for what if and how can we. So
yeah,
next week we're going to branch out. We're gonna start jumping into those actual countries and seeing what we can develop. So next week is Jamaica. This is Gilbert's hometown,
that's right.
his country, not his hometown, his whole entire country,
My backyard.
your backyard. So we're gonna have a fun and exciting time with Jamaica and what that looks like. Now remember, when Gilbert, everyone that knows Gilbert, we know him as the straight up compliance dude, man, the contracting dude, the man that your I's got to be dotted and your T's got to be crossed. But
That's
Gilbert
right.
had another life when he was in Jamaica.
Oh man, that is so true, man. That is so
so,
true.
so we might even give you a little flavor of one of his previous life experiences in Jamaica.
Oh yeah, you guys stay tuned for next week episode. You're gonna see our co-host Gilbert Buchanan, otherwise known as Gilly Buchanan.
And what he was doing there, and he came here and became this straight up kind of conservative dude, man. But there's another side of my co-host. So we're gonna introduce you guys to the other side of my
That's
co-host
right,
next
guys.
week,
That's right.
and get you all excited about maybe doing business in Jamaica. So with that, guys, we hope you this was something worth taking, something to open up your mind to think about for the future, and then how you and I, all of us, can actually evolve our businesses and look at doing business outside the United States, because there's so many opportunities that are out there for us that we've limited ourselves. And because we all know, if we're being truthful, it's going to take a little minute for America to readjust
Yeah.
from its current place of where it is right now. So that's
All
what
we
we
got
want
to
to do.
do, man, is create a little niche in the marketplace and just take it and run with it. Be 10 toes down, be strong about it, say it with your chest and go out there and make this thing happen.
Yep.
Uh, those before us who have become wealthy, that's what they did. They really didn't care about what the naysayers had to say. They had an idea, they had a solution to a pain point in the marketplace, and they said, okay, let's solve this pain. Let's make it happen. And they did it so well that they became millionaires. They were some of the first millionaires out there in the U.S. economy. So, and the first black female millionaire was Madam C.J. Walker, with her hair products, right? So there's so many different ways, guys, that you guys can create your notch in the marketplace that no one is thinking about. Whatever product or service you're offering right now, you just got to get it in the right marketplace for you to become a millionaire. That's all. The right marketplace, and establish the right relationships, and you're good. You're good.
I agree. I agree 100%. So, guys, that's our show today. We hope you enjoyed it, and it will be residing over there on our YouTube channel, so you can go on over there and hit that subscribe button,
Yeah.
and become part of the family, and also check out the last three episodes we've done. One was an introduction to this, and we will be carrying this on. We're going to go through all of the countries that have opportunities for us in the Caribbean islands, and
Yeah.
then we're moving on to the moving
The
forward
African
to the
diaspora.
diaspora and all the opportunities that are there, and then we'll hit South America, and we'll go every other place that there's opportunities for us. So the world is our oyster, as they say. The
And
world is our oyster.
I want to say big shout out to Pat and Izette, two of my proteges in my program right now. They're here on the line on the show, checking it out as usual and supporting the show as usual. And we also want to say much respect to you, Brian Williams, out there in the marketplace. He checked in with us for a little bit. So yes, we want to make sure that you guys spread the word, let other entrepreneurs know what we're trying to do here. And I guarantee you, in a few months, this is going to be the spot where connections are made, business connections. You guys are going to be able to talk to some of the business owners, perhaps from other countries, other companies, and it's just going to be amazing. So that's what we do here.
Exactly. And we're looking so that it won't just be us telling you all of this. We're just laying the groundwork. We're going to actually start inviting in guests that also are doing business outside of the borders, and knowing, and they're going to give you some insight from their standpoint on how they started that. This is a serious commitment. We are. This is our Garvey 2.0 series,
That's
and
right.
and I think we just have to start thinking differently. So sometimes you just need to be, you just have to know that it is out there. There's a team, there's a group of people that are really just have the same mindset, and you want to venture into new grounds. Be an explorer. That's what I
Yep.
say. Be an
Yep.
explorer. So with that, guys, we're going to close out for today, and we're going to see you all next Friday with come back and see the other side of Mr. Buchanan over here, Mr. Gilly Buchanan. And but we're also going to talk to you about what opportunities actually reside right there on that beautiful island of Jamaica. So we will see you.
Exactly. So,
Say,
guys,
Yaman.
Yaman. We'll see you next week, guys, and we're really looking forward to having your experience and your support here on the Business Zone. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're here every Friday from 3 to 4:30, and if the show is nice, then we'll extend it to 5, and that's kind of what we did today because it was an amazing show. So we want to get you guys doing business with Caribbean countries, guys. So reach out to us. We can get you enrolled in our mentorship program and prep you guys for these opportunities. So either way, reach out to us. My number is 626-533-1186. That's 626-533-1186. Give us a call, and we'll be able to help you out. Okay? All right. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a good one.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman.